The group of four were led outside the tavern by the screams of the innocent, and this brought them face to face with the cult of Zerl, a cult that worships the god of undeath. Outnumbered, they sought a different solution to head-on fighting, which ended up being an ancient weapons cache located under the town's temple to Bimos. I am the Aethernaut, and welcome to the Aetherlog, the key to Vidra. As the rest of you run out of the temple to confront the oncoming wave of Zerl cultists and fallen members of this town, you are all armed to the teeth with some pretty sick shit. And with that, it's Astrid's turn. Astrid takes this shoulder-mounted cannon and kind of goes with her teeth as this thing just annihilates 30 to 40 of these cultists instantly. They just evaporate under the just pure weight of this laser that just lances out of this shoulder-mounted cannon. And with that, the battlefield goes silent for a second, and the leader, the cultist priest, kind of looks around and then gives the signal to retreat as these guys start to just run away because they're like, oh, we are now outmatched. Octavia, give me a perception check.
22.
With a 22, you look into the forest, and you see the glint of just one yellow eye. And in the reflection of the laser, this figure is illuminated as a gnome with a pitch black eye who turns and promptly runs with the rest of his companions.
You son of a bitch. Gale, he's here! And I'm going to attempt to run after him. How far away is he from me?
It's not quite your turn yet. We're gonna get to you in a second, don't worry.
But
he is
all right,
400 feet away at least. Like he is...
Shit.
He clearly, you know, this fucking coward is the kind of guy to send people out to do his dirty work and wait in the shadows. You only saw him because this laser lit up his position. But he's skedaddling. He did. You watch him right before he turns to run. He locks eyes with you, and you see that infernal smirk on his face as he runs away. Gale, you are up.
Boy.
There is a wave of now retreating cultists that are moving away from you in all directions.
So I wasn't expecting that from Octavia, but I don't see him myself. So, it's all right. We'll point him out to me then. And as he's wielding this spear, he's kind of like absorbing the interface and the capabilities of it, and he's going to try to innovate with it. And where his typical style is more like, it looks like Mantis fighting, he's going to go a little more fluid, almost like a Tai Chi kind of thing, and he's going to spin on his heel and do a 360 with this spear to do like a wave shot just into the crowd.
Give me this is a very important roll. I'm going to tell you right now. Give me an intelligence check with proficiency.
Oh boy, like my thing.
I know it is.
Yeah,
16 no
17
scope.
off the first one. Yep. 17. And you said with double proficiency or something like that?
Not double, just normal proficiency, intelligence.
Okay. So, total of 21. 20.
Matthew, you may now take a Battlemaster maneuver and take one superiority die from learning this interface. as you now have learned a new technique.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even gonna make you roll to attack. I'm not gonna make many of you roll to attack because these things are just so fuckaroony. As you spin this spear in a fluid motion, there's not even anybody nearby. As this deafening wave of like amplification rips through. Go ahead and roll a d100.
D100. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Go
This
D100.
one and this one. Double digits. 77.
77 of the 200 plus cultists just are shorn in twain as their lifeless legs collapse to the ground.
Any damage to the architecture? So like Avengers buildings blowing up.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, if you're aiming at like an area, there's not people in the buildings, but you watch like a couple houses just get cut in half and just collapse in on themselves.
Oh my.
And you hear Astrid say like, "God damn it, shit! Oh, they're gonna have my head for this one." Giving weapons to non-collective. What am I doing? Octavia, you are up, and you have a sniper rifle.
I am solely focused on trying to catch up with Onyx Eye. Solely focused. Like
Sure.
I am literally not looking at any of the other enemies. I am trying to get close enough to shoot with that rifle.
I'm telling you right
So
now,
I'm using
close enough is not the issue here. Close enough is not something you take into account when wielding an ancient sniper rifle.
fair.
But the issue is Onyx Eye is just gone. You look through like this sight, he's not there anymore. However, the zombie priest, the leader of this supposed assault, is looking at you, and that smile has turned into a look of concern, shall we say.
It's about to get a little more concerning. In all of my rage that I can't find the person I'm looking for, I turn around and unleash all of that anger on this priest and fire off.
Yeah, roll to hit, add plus 15.
Okay. Oh, that's 8 plus 15, so 23.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll, because I know it's satisfying to roll this kind of amount of dice. Go ahead and roll 15d6 for me.
I'm gonna do that in D&D Beyond because
Fair,
I don't even
that's
have
fair.
15
I was-
D6s out.
I was waiting. I'm like, we're gonna see.
I'm also gonna get some more d6s out.
All right, let's go. Jesus Christ, that's so satisfying on my screen. They're
What is
everywhere.
it?
That is 51 damage.
How much?
51.
51.
I got.
Oh, that's just enough. You describe what happens to this cultist priest.
I turn around and you see my eyes just practically glowing with rage as I aim the gun and shoot, and I would like to think that it hits him enough with enough force and damage that it literally blows him apart. So you just kind of see black ooze flying out from what was at one point in time his body, corpse, whatever, what have you.
Yeah. You fire an anti-tank round at this priest who just evaporates. And the zombies and cultists who are running at this guy who has kind of stayed back to kind of conduct the affairs see this guy just explode, just start running faster to get away from what has now become a killing floor, as it were.
I'm imagining, like in anime where it's like that white flash and then the enemy like
Yes.
disintegrates and like those
Oh,
lines.
1,000,000%. Dashi, you are in a mech.
So the cultists have started to flee, and we are left with just the zombies, essentially.
The zombies have begun to shamble away as well. They're kind of following
Gotcha.
their various masters.
So yeah, I would like to take. I have a cannon on my arm or on my shoulder or whatever in the
Yeah.
mech. I'd like to fire that at the nearest like cultist, not a townsperson,
Yeah, there's a group of them.
or like whatever Matt did to get a big chunk of them if I could.
Yeah, there's a big group of them. As you're instead of aiming directly at these guys, your cannon moves back as this is a mortar. So
Oh,
I have to roll dex saves. No. Go ahead and roll 10d8.
10d8. Oh, I got.
I know.
D6s out
I was
now.
going to tell you to get d8.
I'm caught
so I was like,
unawares. Excellent. Oh my god, that is 47.
there is a chunk as a mortar shell flies out of your shoulder, and you just hear this deafening crash as this explosion just shreds probably about 30 cultists easy. And it's the baddies' turn. It's not the baddies' turn. They're all running away. Drake, you have two saw blade axes that are glowing and spinning very rapidly.
Yeah, I think there's just like a death's head grin on my face as I'm charging towards the closest enemy combatants here.
Yeah, you feel your speed is increased as well. It's almost like you've been given a shot of adrenaline. You book it, and you immediately make it to this group of cultists.
Did I see Octavia take out the leader?
I don't know anybody who wouldn't see that. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I think there's that same kind of we see once again that in concert with the death's head grin, we see that also taking stock look a little bit at Octavia as for a brief moment as I run by, and then I'm just gonna start going full blender mode.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have you do for me. Roll me an athletics check
You got it.
You're
with
blessed.
advantage.
Oh wait, it doesn't apply to skill checks. does it?
Bless. It is
It's
attacks and saving throws.
I can use my bardic inspiration though if I want.
Yeah. You can do this with advantage because you are raging.
I sure am,
Oh, that's
baby.
right. Athletics.
That's a natural 17 on the first one,
Oh.
natural 17 on the second one, so 23. Yeah, let's get for shits and giggles. Let's put the bardic inspiration on there. A 26. 26.
You all look as Drake is the only one who has gone into melee with these cultists, as nobody else has really needed to. And it's like separating the wheat from the chaff. It is. By the time you are done with this section of probably 50 to 60 zombies, just frenzy, just axe heads spinning around, just cutting through cultists. You are covered in enough of this blackened blood to just kind of blend in with the shadows at this point.
Yeah.
So the only way you're lit is by these two glowing blue axe heads that sort of give you this ghostly light, as only your eyes are the non covered areas of you at this point.
My eyes and the spinning heads of the axes that have centrifugally flung the ichor off of them because they're spinning so fast. Amazing.
Oh. I'm gonna say we exit initiative as, let's be real, you routed these guys. Any other attacks you make are just going to decimate the force even further. You have saved the tiny town of Tolstead from an oddly full force invasion from the cult. I am going to gift all of you a D8 of DM inspiration, which never goes away. And for the audience, here's the mechanics of that. I like to do what I call leveled inspiration. D4 through D12, essentially. Just different dice represent how cool I think something is. And the thing is, you can stack this inspiration with any other kind of inspiration, and additionally, it never goes away, and you can get multiple DM inspirations. You can just have a pool of it that you can expend on one roll, if you'd like.
Ooh.
So it makes these story moments really work if you want them to, in a pinch. So you all have a D8 of that. So go ahead and write that down. It never goes away. You can stack it, and you can stack it with itself. As the now blackened, not by flame, but by inky liquid fields that surround this town have been cleared of any unliving cultists, you all survey your handiwork, and Astrid says to all of you, okay, I suppose I can be a little more forthright with all of you. My name is Astrid Bryn. I am a member of the Collective, and I would just like to say, well done. That was pretty great to watch, because, as I will say, these guys have been on our bad side for a long time. And you notice that she kind of has this little insignia that signifies that she is a part of the action branch of the Collective, meaning she goes out and she gets shit done. And she opens this kind of briefcase that she has that kind of unfolds multiple times into what almost looks like a portable hole that kind of just opens from a briefcase, and she lowers the cannon into it and says, I'm going to have to ask that you all give me those weapons, please. But I do have a proposal in exchange for that. How would you all like to make some easy money?
We're listening.
It's my favorite kind.
How easy?
Well, I am simply a member of the Collective. I'm not an officer, but I can say in very good faith that all of you would make excellent members of our action branch. And if you'd like to join, we pay based on commission. There's a bit of a test you have to undergo, a bit of a, psych evaluation, basic kind of intelligence tests and whatnot. But I think you would all do stellar at them, and if you'd like, I think you would fit in very well with the rest of our team.
What are the I guess hours, as it were? I have my own things going on.
Hours,
so.
they're pretty flexible. I will say that I'm aware that typically our organization employs lots of people who are in other organizations. We're not very picky in terms of that. But you will have access to a lot of our own materials, such as various key carts, which are cars, essentially. You'd have your own car. You also can get various weapon inquiries, if you'd like. You have access to a bit of our library and data storeroom as well. All sorts of things that you would gain access to if you were a member.
Well, if y'all are okay with me having my own goals and other things going on, I'd be happy to join.
We expect it.
I climb out of the mech, or I'm sitting on top of it. Like I got out of the cockpit and like sitting on the highest point of it.
Like the mech is the same size as Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make it sound like it's a pretty high reward for not too much of a commitment. I have been known to take freelance jobs, so I don't see it becoming a problem.
Well, I won't say the work is easy. As demonstrated, it can get pretty dangerous at
You said
points,
easy money.
But
30 seconds ago.
easy money. It's easy money for you guys. You guys are pretty kick-ass, I will say. I mean, I've never seen somebody throw 2 javelins at the same
Pretty
time and not only spear someone to the ground, but also decapitate them that's wild. That is the kind of stuff we need in the action branch of the collective. So easy money, easy for you, I'd say.
Not so easy for the other guy.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
So Gale whirls the spear around and then slams the haft into the ground. It's nice and loud. It's got a really nice, satisfying kind of like boom. Steps forward with it. Will we be reporting to you then?
You would be reporting to Kala Highwatch, who manages the action division, but you wouldn't interact with her too much because she's kind of the, commander of that sort of branch entirely. So you wouldn't have too much interaction with her. If I had to assume who they would assign you to, probably Tordargan, I'd say. You'll know him when you see him. Orc, big axe hand. He's a bit persnickety and into his work, but I'm sure you'll get along great.
I don't have an axe hand pun on me. I should have. I should have.
Yeah, you should have prepared it. You didn't have to.
No.
Half?
Goes hand in half, right? So.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So Gale steps forward and begrudgingly offers the spear back. He's slow to release it.
Yeah, you just kind of drop it into the suitcase and you hear it fall. You don't hear it hit anything.
So he places it. It's like, fine. Yes, I suppose you can count on my participation in this endeavor.
She says, also, believe me, we will probably assign you to some task force to catching Onyx Eye. I didn't see him anywhere around here, unfortunately, but we're gonna get that bastard, I swear.
At the sound of his name, up until this point, Octavia hadn't really been listening or paying attention to what was happening. She was too busy staring outside and like kind of had the gun off to the side, like as if to hand it off, just waiting for somebody to take it out of her hand, and was not paying attention. But the moment she hears his name, turns around. Did you say you didn't see him?
No, I was a little distracted. Was he here?
Yes, he was here.
Shit. Do you know who this person is?
Yes, that's putting it nicely. I'm familiar.
Well, then we might have to bring you in for a line of questioning then, I suppose, if you wouldn't mind. But yes, we would provide you with all the equipment that we can allow for your clearance level that you might need to track down Onyx Eye.
I want to kill him with my bare hands.
You know, that is admirable. But we gotta get you there first. So it's up to you.
Just to make that very clear.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
Believe me, however it gets done, it gets done. We are not picky about how this guy goes out. I'm gonna be real frank with you. But yeah, I mean, if you're the one to bring him down, then so be it.
I drop the gun and whatever and just kind of nod. Well, I guess since our current goals are aligned, I'm in for now. I'm not much on being told what to do as a general rule, but...
Well, there is a bit of that, but there's a lot of breaks, so there's a lot of time to just hang out and do your thing between assignments, so we'll see. But I appreciate the cooperation at any level. And she kind of glances at Drake and Dashi, and she kind of like motions her head over to the suitcase.
Is this gonna fit in there?
Yeah, you see that. She kind of reaches up and she presses a button and it kind of collapses back into this cube. Which she then kind of picks up with effort, because this thing is heavy, and drops it into this suitcase.
Like a really...
Okay, but if you become an officer, we get us to us. Can we request to be assigned to you, and then we can get those weapons back when we do missions with you? Because that would be really cool.
Listen, I'm not a part of a team right now. I am just doing my own thing because that's how I usually prefer to operate. But, you know, we'll see. I don't know if I'll make officer anytime soon, but we'll see. I think we have a long way back to Promundus if you're willing to travel with me, so we can get acquainted then.
Yeah, sounds good.
She kind of looks at Drake a little bit, not scared, but just like, she looks at you a little apprehensively, considering you're covered in just this black ichor, holding these two glowing axes.
Yeah, and kind of has reversed the grip on one of them, so it's like pressed against his forearm, and he throws the other one into the bag and just kind of looks at her for a second, and then laughs and throws the other one in too.
She chuckles, and then she folds the briefcase up and closes it and says, all right, well, I am going to go to the cellar to get the rest of the weapons. I suppose we can rest here for the night, or if you want to get going right now, we can start making our way to Promundus. Drake, you've been to Promundus before. In fact, that's where you got your job from that mysterious person who knows Dashi. But the rest of you probably haven't been to the metropolis. You've definitely heard of it before because this is the biggest city on the planet. But you've never been, so...
Is that the Magenta Island?
No, this is the big ground city where all of the floating cities pass over.
Terrestrial.
Oh,
It is terrestrial, yes.
Yep.
And I
The
guess
vortex.
I might as well explain
Vortex.
this now. For our listeners, there are 3 giant floating cities that are made from ancient tech in this world that operate based on 3 moons. And these operate based on different magic types. So blue crystal operates based on natural magic, so you got your druids, your rangers, and whatnot. Yellow crystal, which Dashi has, is divine magic for gods and oaths and various pacts and whatnot. And red crystal is arcane for wizards like Astrid's guns. So these islands all... The reason why Promundus is so important is because these islands that float, they float around the world. And this is the only point on land that they all intersect at. That's why this city is so large. And it is also the headquarters of the collective. So she says, I suppose if you'd like to say your goodbyes or whatnot, now would be the time. I will see you all shortly. And she begins to walk towards the temple to collect the rest of the weapons there.
Do you all have anybody to say goodbye to?
No.
I actually did a little bit of property damage, so I'm trying not to say anything to anyone.
Yeah.
Of course you did,
let's
Gal.
get out of here.
Yeah, Dashi, you notice that the there's a massive crater in the ground from your mortar blast.
Yeah, I don't currently have the money to help with that, so I'm gonna go.
I said all my goodbyes long ago, so let's be about it.
Ooh. Mysterious.
So
Edgy.
mysterious.
Mysterious.
Edgy. Yes.
In a way, aren't we all always saying goodbye to the version of ourselves that was before the current moment?
Did you hotbox that mech?
That's my philosophy major. That's my philosophy sophomore major, or college student philosophy major in sophomore year.
It's good.
Oh, excellent. Well, if we have no goodbyes to say, then Astrid eventually comes back with her briefcase, which she then folds again into a smaller thing, which she kind of just saddles on her back. And she says, well, unfortunately, it is a long walk. But I'm sure we can keep each other all company.
The collective didn't send you with a vehicle?
No, I am a lone operative. I am meant to remain stealthy. So a vehicle does tend to draw some form of attention. And plus, I do enjoy walking. I typically don't request vehicles or whatnot because, you get those calluses on your feet. Feels like you're traveling. It's all good. I really enjoy it. You know, I get to walk through towns and whatnot. I get to meet new people. It's great.
We have technology. We could. You're. Gosh, it's just like. Just so
It is personal
frustrated.
preference. Again, I did not expect to be bringing people back from this mission. If I did, I might have brought a car.
How long is this walk?
A minute? So from Tolstad to Promundus, it's about a 2-week travel.
So you might want to grab some supplies.
How many weeks is that if your legs are only 10 inches long?
I'm still fast.
Well, I would assume twice as long. But you seem to be able to keep pace with everybody just well enough anyways. Plus, I hear we have a region-renowned bard to at least liven up our travel a little bit. And I mean, hey, then I can get to kind of know y'all. I can get to vet you a little bit before we start testing.
Could you expense a horse and buggy?
I mean, we can ask if they have one. They're not getting it back, though. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, you would expense it to the club.
yeah.
They've got buku money, right?
They do have buku money. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And she begins to walk over to what looks to be a stable that was near the mortar blast. So you hear distressed horses within, and you see a head poke out of this really kind of whip thin like kid who kind of looks up and he's like, "Yeah, hi, we're looking for a horse and carriage." Okay. You're not gonna kill me, are you? What? Oh, no, with the collective, we're not here to, do anything like that. Oh, okay, yeah, we gotta, yeah. And he, kind of runs in and, brings out this, carriage drawn by 2 horses. I was like, I know it's not, like, super techy or anything like that, for the, the whole, it's fine, how much is it? He looks at all of you and then at Astrid's various weapons and whatnot and various key weaving technology. And he says, 10 brides? And she's like, here's 20. And this kid about, like, pisses himself. Like, this is a lot of money. And he takes it gratefully. He's like, yeah, okay, feed the horses. And he kind of grabs what looks to be a provision bag. And he's like, I'll throw in a provision bag too. It should last you a month. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And he kind of just runs back into the nearby kind of house and says, Ma, we're rich.
Joshi feels better. I feel like my debt is paid.
As this carriage awaits you. Well, it's not a carriage. Let's be real. It's an open air, like, kind of cart.
It's a cart.
It's a wagon. It's nothing fancy. But it'll get you there faster than walking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! I climb in the back, claim a little nook for me to just like sleep, like get squeezed in and like sleep. Put my head against a crate or something.
Sure. Yeah. Astrid goes up and takes the reins. There is a seat beside her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody roll initiative.
I'm assuming, Gale, you slither your way next
I
to
took
her.
the cock block feat,
Yeah.
so I'm going to slide in there.
Yeah, make a persuasion check at disadvantage as this massive figure looms behind you. No. I'm assuming the rest of y'all just kind of get into the back of the wagon. It is padded. Like, the seats
That's
are padded,
nice.
which
That's
is
fancy.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Drake, like, breathes a sigh of relief seeing that it's like an open cart, and then just kind of like a 40-year-old divorcee in a hot tub, just kind of like puts his arms up on the edge and crosses his ankles,
Yeah.
I can see the
Yeah,
chest
yeah,
hair perfectly.
yeah.
Oh yeah. if you had like a beer belly, it would be prominently.
Right. He almost like blows it
showing
out
itself.
a little bit, so it just looks
The
like
jewel
an
of the
expanded
North.
6-pack.
Yeah. Octavia, where you sitting?
I'm gonna sit like at the very edge of the back with my legs kind of hanging over
Sure.
and just watching the road behind us quite carefully.
Yeah, of course. As the night begins to deepen, you begin to sleep in shifts. And, of course, if you've listened to anything that I've DM'd, podcast-wise or otherwise, you know I love to do a good dream exposition, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start with Drake. Drake, you don't have a dream, you have a nightmare. The same one you've been having for a long time. And you awaken in this black, kind of inky expanse. All around you are the bodies of your fellow tribesmen that you lost in that fateful day. And as you look around, you look down at your shattered hand, and you see it pumping this black ichor and bleeding out of your fingertips onto the ground, just pooling around you. And this voice that seems to be everywhere says, "Your body will be mine soon, Drake Shatterhand." And you watch as the blood, this ichor begins to take over your arm, slowly making its way to your heart, and you feel yourself begin to shake horribly as your body contorts, and you let out what you think is a scream, but is instead an unearthly roar. And you wake up.
And I I jerk upright and I grasp my hand, my left hand, the shattered hand. My right hand, the shattered hand, and I almost like I'm trying to make a tourniquet with my left hand, and I feel the shape of a tooth like lodged inside my hand, and maybe it feels like it has moved.
Very interesting.
Ooh.
Octavia, you don't need to sleep.
Mm-mm.
Because you're not really alive. That's a little quirky.
What?
Crazy.
Manic Pixie
Oh.
Dead Girl?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Dead mommy?
Dead mommy? But you hear it in your mind nonetheless. It's her voice. Again, you don't know who this person is, but you can hear it calling for help in the base of your skull. You don't know who this person is, where they are, but they're begging to be let out of this cage that you can't see.
I just try to listen as best I can. Until after a few minutes I finally try to shake it off because it's unsettling. Not much unsettles me, so that says something.
It fades away. This familiar voice that you've had since your resurrection, shall we call it. Just, it trickles away as you've taught yourself this breathing exercise that eventually rids it from your mind.
I wonder if he has her.
Dashi, you are snoozing, and you dream of your magnificent wife.
Hmm.
It's not a dream as much as it is sort of a modified memory. It's you two are in a market. You're going to go make some of the next batch of The Last Time I Was Happy, so you're looking for Ghost Wraith, peppers.
Mm.
And you're just walking through this market with her, and she says to you, think we should get them in bulk, or should we get them more individually and just kind of pick them?
Oh, we should get as many as possible, because then we're always going to need more. We might as well make a big old batch.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that people are just buying this stuff all over the world, you know?
It's good. This new recipe you came up with is like totally leagues ahead of the old stuff. Of course people are going to want it. You make amazing things.
You are so cute. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too.
I'm going to be frank. And she kind of leans in close and says, things might change soon, but that's okay. It'll all work out.
What do you mean?
It's a higher up thing. I can't tell you about it, hun, but it's really important. And you just have to keep doing what you're doing, and the cause is gonna benefit from it.
Everything's gonna be okay, though. You said.
Yeah, of course. And she smiles reassuringly as she holds your shoulder.
Dashi says, "I believe you," and I think that's when they wake up.
Yes. And you wake up to Drake grasping his spasming hand.
You need a hand? I'm sorry. The lowest hanging fruit in the history of podcasts.
In your defense, that's the only fruit you can reach. He's 3 feet tall.
Damn.
Unless it's like a fruit that grows on a bush.
It's a little. It was a low-hanging berry. I don't know. Actually, it was a root vegetable. It was soaked down in the
Low-hanging potato.
You dug it up.
Drake kind of laughs as he's like, once again, just kind of like rolling the knuckles on this crooked hand, and like the bones are cracking, the tendons are popping, and no, thank you. That's funny. It's just an old injury. It must probably rain coming, I think. It always acts up when it gets damp.
Well, if you need any cryotherapy, and Dashi will like light up the gauntlet with like that frosty mist. I can help out sometime.
I do often feel better after a good cry, but I'm not I'm not terribly sad
You
right
do
now.
that too. You know your stuff.
Oh wait, cryotherapy.
We move.
I see.
That would make sense for a grief cleric, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even make that connection until just now. That's good.
fantastic.
Maybe that's why.
We move to Gale. Gale, you don't go to sleep right away, as next to you is a beautiful woman who has not said anything to you since you sat down.
So yeah, Gale's creepy looking, but he's not a creep, so he's not
Sure.
like lecherous or any way.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, and I don't know if it matters, but Gale's fighting style is the somnolence, and sleep is particularly like his thing. So he lucid dreams to basically study the things that he learned that day. Even
Oh
harder.
my god. A lucid
That's so cool.
A lucid dreaming note-taking character is the best thing for any of my games ever. That makes me so happy. Eventually, though, Astrid says, "So, what's it like being What part of the order?
Gale just kind of like relaxes more into the seat, and it is pretty nice being part of the order. I mean, I wonder if I would have fit in if I had been taken in anywhere else. But the older I get, the more I realize I don't think I would have been taken in anywhere else. So I'm grateful for the family that I've established here. So I don't quite fit the build for the order, so making my way.
I noticed you fight a little oddly compared to the other members I've seen. Is that a custom fighting style, or?
Yes, I've had to innovate a bit. Yeah, they're much more aggressive and aerial in their approaches in combat. I have more of a fluid. It's playing to my strengths, if you can call it that.
So I've noticed you. Yeah, I'm gonna be straight with you. You move kind of weird.
It's unpredictable is the word I like to use.
Unpredictable. I suppose. And she kind of thinks for a moment. It's like, I mean, to be fair though, you just got kind of accepted into one of the most prestigious adventuring institutions on the planet, so there's that.
There is that. And it was on my list of things to do. So.
Oh, was it? You had a bucket list to get accepted into one of the most prestigious adventuring organizations on the planet.
You know, it comes hand in hand with the career, I suppose. I am, after all, a lifelong mercenary, technically. And, I guess adding to my repertoire of connections. Plus, can't have to make a little extra coin and some more friends along the way. Such as this motley bunch.
Yeah, funny how I managed to scoop the 4 weirdest people in the small town. But, yeah. It's interesting. This is really not what I expected from this assignment, but... yeah, thank the gods you were all here, because I could not have done that on my own. This city would have been... This whole town would have been a pile of rubble.
Yes. Well, I really do want to help Tavia find this one-eyed gnome.
Yeah, he's bad business, should we say. He has done experiments that we've had to deal with before.
Well, if we can find his notes, I'd be interested in taking a look.
As would I.
Gale's jaw just kind of clicks whenever he's interested in an idea.
Her eyes kind of widen, not in concern, but just kind of like, huh. As the carriage keeps going. And you have a dream, Gale. A lucid dream. And in this dream, you're back at the Order. And your friend Stefan is there. And he says to you, this is only a few weeks ago, as far as you can remember. And he says, listen, I don't know what's going on. Something is just doesn't feel right. And this is odd because Stefan is a very happy-go-lucky guy. He looks shaken.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, we'll get to the bottom of it. What are you so worried about, man?
I can't talk about it. It's not something that I can tell you about here. I'm going to go get some extra help and see what that does. But as for now, you need to keep acting like nothing is going on. All right?
Well, if I'm not aware of anything, then what am I? All right.
He gets up, pats you on the back, and that is the last time you ever see Stefan alive.
So as he walks away, I say, "Oh, I'll meet you for lunch later."
Oh,
Yeah, we can get some of that Manibor claw you like. Very distractedly as he walks out of your life. And as you wake from this dream, the sun is rising in the distance. And the trumpeting of tremor tusks, which are these elephantine-esque beasts with multiple tusks that sing out in a harmony, echoes across the valley you are traveling in. A new day has begun, and with it, a new adventure.